Alright, so I'm going to start the video off with a quick announcement. The Monday morning guide videos are starting next week, going to be Fridays, and the Friday mech bay shenanigans and builds and whatnot is going to be Monday. Just simply so that we can have Mechlab Mondays. It'll be fun. But that's about all I have to say before we start, and I hope you enjoy the pilot episode where I literally have no idea what I'm doing and I'm figuring everything out as I go. Don't worry, next week will be a lot less, what's the word? Stupid? Yes, let's go with that one. Alright, now to the episode. Alright, so today is going to be the first episode of the Mechlab series. It's not really builds so much as it is playing around in the Mechlab. This is going to be completely unscripted, just off the cuff and fun, just relaxing and messing around with different ideas for different mechs. Today we're going to be focusing on the Kracken assault mech, the Atlas variant. It's got some fun hardpoint options, and as a 100-ton mech, you can do quite a few things with it. Now then, this playthrough that I'm using for these early episodes, primarily Clan-Tech, but honestly, the best builds for any given mech at any given time is entirely based on what you happen to have just sitting around. So I think first I'm going to build it as a fire support mech, which is going to be kind of tough to do since it only has one missile hardpoint. But basically the idea behind this, whenever I build a fire support mech, the idea is it sits in the back and it just unloads. So to that end, we are going to drop in a XL engine, because obviously, and we'll get to exchangers and things shortly. And we're going to drop in an ultralight gyro, because hopefully this thing isn't taking much fire at super long range. And we don't need much of an engine because it's going to be staying close to where we drop it. So whenever it comes to engine core, we can save some tonnage and drop in a 200 rated core. So it's only going to have a move of 2 and a sprint of 3 if it has 0 heat. As the heat starts climbing, it will be crippled and it will not be able to move at all. So basically we're making an Atlas into an Irby. And of course the reason you crawl around with an Irby is so that you can have really, really fun times. So in this particular build, I'm thinking I might actually go Pirate Fire Control System for the increased accuracy and the evasion pip ignore. It will increase the recoil, but if you pick weapons with no recoil, then it's just a net positive. And we are going to include some enhanced imaging, because why wouldn't we? And this gunnery support B, this mech is going to be perfect. Well, if I had tactics support, totally be perfect for that. But I don't, so we are going to put tracker sensors in here. And with the -2 heat sink ton, whatever kind of cooling we put on, we're going to have 2 extra outside of the engine. So we won't be able to make use of any of the engine heat sinks. And since we're not going to be able to make use of the engine heat sinks anyway, this is the perfect opportunity to use... You know, I should really start using the shortcuts up there instead of... Boom! Radical Proto Double Heatsink Kit. Gets rid of the extra slots, so you can't put, like, for example, engine sinks +5 or anything. But since we have a -2 heatsink tonnage core, it doesn't really matter that it takes that slot. So, we are going to need some Proto Double Heatsinks. There's 1, 2 to make the engine viable. We'll come back and put more once we figure out what exactly we're putting in terms of weapons. Since this is a fire support, we are putting in a chameleon LPS. And this is especially effective when you're building a fire support mech, because the less you move, the more effective it is. So if you can't move very far, it'll stay at optimal efficiency the entire time. Drop in some clan Indo, and now it's time for the fun to begin. So, we have almost 70 tons. What can we do with 70 tons? Well, it's got 2 ballistic hardpoints, so we're going to drop in 2 clan Gauss rifles, because we can. Turret mount's 1 slot, right? Boom, perfect. Although, if we use the turret mount, let's move the Proto over here. Do we have room for AMS Mark II? Yes, we do. Alright, so if it does attract any long-range fire, it'll knock it out of the sky. Or we could even drop in a clan AMS. So the difference between the AMS Mark II and the clan AMS, for the most part, is that whenever you're overloading the Mark II, it can fire at all ally, any missiles targeting allies nearby. But since this is a fire support mech, we could actually just drop the regular AMS in it. So, we are still at 57 out of 100 with 2 Gauss rifles. That's beautiful. Now, of course, keeping with that theme, we want long-range fire support on everything. And while we could drop in a regular LRM-20, I say we drop in a streak LRM-20. Now, obviously, slots is a problem. Anytime you're dealing with a lot of big, heavy weapons, slots are going to be the biggest problem. And the fact that we have so much tonnage left over because we're using clan tech instead of inner spirit tech, I think we're actually going to upgrade the engine core after all. So, I mean, honestly, we don't need Indo, so that frees up a lot of slots. So instead of the 200 core, which has -2 heatsink times, which takes up 2 more slots for the same heat sinking, we can go 250. And so that'll be a 2-3 again, but it'll have 2 more heat sinks in it. And we had the tonnage for it, so why not? Now, we need ammo, and honestly, if we had the structural upgrade, I do not in this playthrough, but there's the structural upgrade that takes no slots and just reduces the structure, the values on each location. That would be completely fine for a fire support mech, because ideally this thing will never get hit. And if it does, it'll be way in the back and not be focus fired by anything. And if I have a yes, IFF Jammer Mark III, just to make it even harder to see. Now then, our heat is terrible. 68, 118. So, to help with that, we are going to drop in a exchanger. Now, yes, the exchanger double plus reduces the heat by 15%, as compared to 10% on the clan exchanger, but because we're running protos and we're only cooling 4 per sink and reducing weapon heat generated by a percentage, the protos make it actually better to bring a clan exchanger. So we actually will not be using the IFF jammer. Well, I mean, we could just make it really hard to detect, but no, we will make it able to shoot effectively. So here's Advanced Optics Mark III. And that is basically all we need. So, with the rest of the tonnage, we can add in battle computers and ammo. Let's start with the ammo to make sure we have enough. So we have 2 Gauss rifles, which means we need a double bin of Gauss ammo, which will give us 10 shots, and then 1 more bin. Oh hey, we still have 2 energy hardpoints. Neat. Let's use those. So we want long range, but at this point we're looking at tonnage limitations. So, what is the longest range thing we can put in? There we go, Clan ER mediums. So, only effective to 540, but it'll give just that extra little bit of zapping power once something comes close enough. So, that's all the ammo we need for the Gauss rifles. Now we can bring some more ammo for the Streak LRM. Assuming we have Streak LRM ammo. Ammo, Streak LRM. How many is each one of these? Hey, stop, stop. Ah, I hate when it does that. No idea how to stop it. So, hopefully that's not too distracting. So each bin of Streak ammo brings 120 shots, which is 6 total shots. So that's 12 shots of the Streak LRM, which only fires if it's going to hit. And that should be, yes, 14 shots of the double Gauss rifle. That's a lot of firepower. And since we're a fire support mech, we don't need all of this crazy armor. So we'll actually drop a little bit of armor to bring us to an even 96. And now we have room for 4 battle computers. Now, our heat sinking is terrible. Absolutely terrible. But we'll deal with that in just a second. Did I miss them? I missed them, didn't I? There they are. We are going to want extreme range because, yeah, we are going to be staying way out of it. We could also bring long range, but I think battle computer heat is going to be much more useful. And a battle computer tracking just to make sure that we can hit anything, regardless of how fast it moves. And other than that, I mean, battle computer gunnery is really good if you have something that has a jam or misfire chance reduced by gunnery. It also reduces, just gunnery by itself reduces the jam chance. And, yeah, actually, I think I will... No, I think I'm going to use the weight that's there for heat sinks. Where are they? Okay, proto double heat sink. There. Ah, we need AMS ammo. But that's fine. Because the way we're going to get it, since we don't have the structural upgrade that will drop the structure points in exchange for weight, we're just going to drop armor. We're going to drop a ton of armor. Because we can, since it's a stealthy fire support mech. I know this is crazy, but if you're never getting hit, especially the back armor, as long as you position well and don't have anyone pop in behind you, you don't really need the back armor. So we are going to drop down to, you know what, I think 120 is low enough. So we can actually bump these back up to 120. And honestly, if the arms get lost, just a PPC down when you've got this much firepower is no big deal. So we'll actually bump up everything a little bit. Alright, there we go. So that's plenty of armor for a fire support mech. And if we wanted to, we could distribute this a little bit more evenly. Maybe there, something. It doesn't really matter. The idea is this mech should not be getting hit very often at all. Now then, we have 6 tons left, but we have no slots. That is the big problem whenever it comes to fielding a ton of heavy weapons. And our heat management is absolute garbage. So, I guess lesson is Atlases don't make the best fire support mechs. I guess I'll drop the ER mediums in exchange for 2 more heat sinks. And now we are overcooling. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the slot lock is sad. Well, if we drop one of the protos, I love having plenty of options here. I mean, we could go large pulse instead of PPCs. It's less slots for the same tonnage. It also does less damage, and we really want this thing to hit hard. Well, let's put a large pulse in the center torso. Why not? Heat efficiency, again, pretty bad. But we could always drop a ton of streak ammo. So that's 6 alpha strikes. 6 alpha strikes that are guaranteed to hit. Well, it only uses ammo if it's going to hit. So that's 6 guaranteed hits with the LRM-20. That'd be fine for a 10-round battle, 12-round battle. It's fine. So with that extra with that extra slot, we will definitely drop in one more proto heatsink. And yeah, I guess we can add a little bit of armor back. So again, not worrying too much about the back armor because this thing is not going to be in the front lines at all. So if something comes behind you, you messed up. Alright, and go 100 on the arms. Sure, that sounds good to me. So we've got a fire support Atlas here. It has okay heat management, which basically just means turn one of the PPCs off occasionally. And so we are going to go ahead and build that and drop on a mission solo, just to see how it runs. Alright, as far as Mechwarriors go, for a fire support mech, you kind of want, well, you definitely want recoil reduction if it has something with recoil in it, which I don't remember if anything we put in the Atlas has recoil, but anything with sight and sensors, which somebody surely has sight and sensors. Reckless, rebellious. I mean, reckless is good on any slow-moving mech, so reckless is good. But I'm specifically looking for sight sensor range because that is incredibly helpful when you are at super long range. Okay, wait. Here we go. Officer plus lance sight and sensors. Command experience doesn't matter. Military's neat. Periphery doesn't do anything. Really? All we have is officer? Surely there's a better candidate here somewhere. Plus 5% sight and sensors. So if we could find a Comstar officer.
Yes, Commander.
Yeah, the idea with a fire support mech is that you're staying at long range, and the further your sensors reach, the better you can get the better sensor checks you can get on people, and you have to have sight or sensors to shoot, so it helps. So we are going to actually reskill Puffin. So any fire support, it is good to have a combination of things. Again, sight and sensors is incredibly important. So fire support pretty much always go tactician late game. Sensor lock and field command are both useful. If you have say an entire lance of fire support units, definitely have one of them with field commander, because the bonus sensor and bonus sensor sight range is really nice. And if you're going fire support with missiles or any kind of splash, Bandit is amazing. Focus fire is good for pinpoint damage. undo that real quick. If you're going stealthy, awareness can be useful to help keep from getting hit ever. And the stability damage taken is okay if you're getting swarmed by missiles, but generally, either focus fire or bandit, depending on whether you're spam or pinpoint, and the tactician are best for fire support units. Now, it's up to you whether you want to go for field command or if you want to go for controlled burst or warlord. And since our mech runs a little bit hot, it's actually viable to go controlled burst just to gain the minus 10% heat generated for 2 out of every 3 turns. So not having to turn that ERPPC off for a while. And I am actually going to go with exactly that, so that I can shoot to my heart's content and very, very rarely have to turn something off. And honestly, guts and piloting are completely inconsequential on fire support mechs. You're never going to be meleeing. Your turn order doesn't really matter because you usually want your fire support to go last to clean up whatever's left. But guts is great for reducing, but I'm just doing a single drop, so. What's funny is it didn't even give me enough experience to do anything with, so that's what we're going to do. Puffin, congratulations, you're going to be the test pilot for our Fire Support Atlas. And now, just to bring it in for a drop, let's do something silly, like 5 Skull. Ooh, 5 Skull Assassinate, perfect. Doesn't matter. And so we are going to drop the Atlas. Why is it yellow? This mech has one more issues. I forgot the AMS ammo. Curses. So let me fix that. Well, I'm definitely not dropping a heatsink, but I will drop a bin of Gauss ammo for the AMS ammo. So if it ever does get shot by missiles, the AMS will intercept them. Hopefully. And wait one more day. And now we're going to drop on the 5 Skull Assassinate. Where'd it go? There we go. 5 Skull Assassinate. And we are dropping in a Kracken that's only rated at a half skull, and a line holder, which literally just has a tag. It's just a spotter, a fast, zoomy little spotter for the Kracken. And we're going to see how many kills we can get before it gets taken down. So, where is Puffin? There's Puffin on the Kracken. And it doesn't really matter who I put on. Well, I guess somebody with hard case would be good, so it doesn't get knocked. Alright, let's see how this goes. So, fun fact, I have absolutely no idea how this is going to go. I have not tested this. 5 Skull mission might have been a horrible idea for 2 mechs, one of them that doesn't have weapons. So, as the fact that we're testing a fire support mech means we need to find high ground somewhere so that the Atlas can have line of sight of pretty much the entire battlefield, and it will go there. Now then, you can only drop in a certain radius of your starting drop. So I think I'm going to drop the zoomy little scout right there. And we'll see how many mechs these two are able to take down. Spotter and a sniper. And are we surrounded?
Alright. Keep your eyes open and
Okay, I see quite a few of them around. Worth noting, if you do have a fire support mech that doesn't move very well, you will never be able to evac. You pretty much, if you're gonna have to, if you're gonna complete the objective and then try to evac instead of just destroying everyone, you're pretty much gonna have to eject the fire support mech that doesn't move, unless you just want to take tons of damage for no reason while you escape. But honestly, if you have a fire support Atlas like this, hopefully you don't need to escape unless things went really, really, really bad. So first mission, we're not going to have sensors.
What's up, boss?
Alright, so the Atlas is going to just kind of walk over here, gain visual, and pick something to shoot. Let's see. We got 52s, 59s. Yeah, let's take out the Timberwolf. Controlled burst. And now we should be able to alpha strike.
Locked on target.
Obviously, the heat management could be much better. But that's quite a bit of damage going into that Timberwolf. Let's see how many of these guys we can take down before we die. I think maybe for heavy mechs, we'll go down to like 4 skull, and medium mechs maybe 3 skull. I don't know. Haven't decided yet. I should have put a C3 unit in the line holder. You always want a C3 unit on your scout mechs to give more targeting information to your sniper mechs, your fire fire support mechs. They're probably just going to completely ignore the Atlas because of the stealth and just focus fire the spotter. And even without the spotter, if the spotter goes down, a fire support mech can still engage at extreme range and just drop people, sometimes without even being detected. And not having any return fire is always a good thing. Maybe a duel would be a better thing to do. It would take a lot less time, and there's actually a chance it would win. I'll have to keep that in mind in the future. But for now, this is what I'm doing. I don't know. Yeah, I think a duel would probably be better. But whatever. This is what I'm doing for now. The format of this is definitely going to change. That line holder is totally going to the ground. But as I figure out exactly how I want to do this, I do intend, once I'm done doing the mechs that I have in the mech bay, to go in and start doing just playthrough starts. And I will definitely do one mission at the start. Basically build the mechs at the playthrough start as optimally as possible with what I've got. Then drop into a mission to show how effective the build is, or how effective the team is. Which, you know, early game missions, so shouldn't be too long, hopefully. Whereas, yeah, this is taking a minute to, oof. Come on, guys, I'm just trying to demonstrate the Atlas.
Commander.
Or if I do end up doing like full missions like this, I'm just gonna stand and shoot, honestly. Wish I could see my hit chances. And overheat warning. Until I turn off one of the PPCs. Okay. So in this biome, So there's the Timberwolf that we hit before. Let's see if a second salvo will kill him. Well, that's half a mech.
That hit something good.
And obviously, if there was anyone to follow up. Wait, what? Does the Kracken just automatically... Or does Puffin have affinity on the Kracken? I don't remember. I do not remember. Okay, I stand corrected. They are shooting at the Atlas. The AMS is doing a little bit of work, but the fire support unit is visible to the Griffin that has some kind of electronic warfare suite. Yep, alright, so they are targeting, and despite the fact that the Kraken has 0 evasion, very few hits are landing.
Yes, Commander.
Alright, and we are just gonna have Conqueror punch out.
Punching out.
So, we'll see if just the two in the front continue targeting the Atlas. And let's make it a little bit harder for them by taking out the Griffin that has whatever kind of ECM. One more turn. So this is the turn where we're getting full heat.
Reporting critical hit.
I gotta say, a lot more underwhelming than missile spam builds. Alright, there's the first one missing everything. And mind you, this is a 5-skull mission. So these are not amateur novice mech warriors. They actually have the stats to hit. But just from the stealth armor alone, the forget what it is exactly. Where is it? Chameleon LPS. The Chameleon LPS alone is making it difficult to hit an Atlas, which I believe the way the signature and visibility work is your mech has a base signature and visibility based on what weight it is. I don't know if it's just light, medium, heavy assault, or if it's actually based on the tonnage exactly. But you'll see they're prioritizing allies that are that much further away, because the guys that are out of sight range are having trouble targeting the Kraken. And between the AMS and the stealth, it is quite healthy. Alright, here comes the proto double heat sink kit flushing. Which is the other benefit of if you build a radical proto heatsink kit into your mech and run a little bit hot, it should flush and allow me to alpha strike again. Alright, so after all of them have gone, as you can see, the Atlas is still in great shape. Leg's taking a little bit of a beating, it's taking a little bit of splash damage across it, but considering it has no evasion at all, it's doing quite well. Alright, there's the Proto Double Heat Sink Flush, which, because of the Mechwarrior skills, has a 0% fail chance right now. If it stays overheated multiple turns in a row, that'll increase. Oh, I forgot to turn Enhanced Imaging on. And the Chameleon LPS is on, which is... that's why it's running so hot. I forgot the Chameleon LPS actually generates 15 heat per turn and increases weapon heat generated by 20%. That's why a single Alpha Strike overheats me. But Controlled Burst is the thing. So, let's finish off this Griffin, shall we? We'll see what happens. I'm pretty sure the Proto Double Heatsink Flush made it so that it wasn't actually overheating. So that's a wrecked Griffin.
I'm wounded.
Alright. So, no, I was wrong. That actually was the heat. Wow. Probably should take a cooldown turn. And now, of course, the Chameleon LPS is disabled because the mech is shut down. So you can see how much faster they're grinding through it. The Chameleon LPS alone was preventing so much damage. Alright, I figure I'll just go ahead and point out here. The mech, because it shut down and lost the stealth for one turn, has taken many times more damage than all the turns where the stealth was active combined. So, moral of the story, stealth armor generates heat. Be aware of that. Alright, so that build was a failure. But that's fine. That was the entire point, was to test the build. I'm going to cut here, and when I come back, we'll be back in the Mechlab trying to fix the horrible build. Okay, so let's see what failed about this build. Primarily, it was way, way too hot, which, of course, is because I forgot the Chameleon LPS generates 15 heat per turn, which is not reduced by the Proto Double Heat Sinks or the Exchanger, or the Controlled Burst. So that was just 15 heat per turn, and we were only sinking 95. So, we gotta keep in mind the heat generation, in addition to the 20% weapon heat generated when active. So that completely offsets the Exchanger and 3 1/3 Proto Double Heat Sinks. So, that being said, let's drop the ERPPCs, because if I remember correctly, we don't have any more large pulse lasers. The PPCs generate 56 heat. Large lasers would generate less. But more importantly than that, it gives us more tonnage and more slots to add more proto double heat sinks. And we would actually need more slots. So, how would we get more slots? We don't want any less ammo. We we already have plenty of ammo. We could drop the AMS, which I think we might. Well, okay. So we're now cooling. We're now overcooling by 12, which should offset the Chameleon LPS. And that's because the clan PVCs are 56 heat compared to 45 heat. So that's 22 heat, and then 2 more protos is an extra 4 heat cooling per turn and an extra minus 6% weapon heat generated. So maybe this will work. Reduce the damage a little bit. Actually, what is the large pulse laser? 37 heat? What's funny is actually if I had more large pulse lasers, that would be a better build. But I do not. Yeah, large clan pulse lasers would have actually been a better build than the clan ER large lasers. However, I only have the one, so this is how we're going to build it. And I think based on the accuracy that I had, I don't even need the advanced optics. I mean, it definitely helps with a nighttime mission. Ah, yes, we did need recoil reduction because of the pirate fire control system. As long as you have 1 recoil reduction, then it completely offsets it, and you just get the accuracy and evasion ignore for free. Whoa, wait. 10% weapon heat generated. Out of curiosity, is that calculated? 91 goes down to 83. Yes, it is calculated. Okay. Then we can leave that in. So that's why we had way too much heat, is the chameleon LPS I do not believe gets calculated. Because it's 91, and if I drop the chameleon LPS, it's probably still 91. So we have to keep in mind 20%, which is going to be 18 additional heat. So no, this is not actually viable. We are going to drop the pirate fire control system then. We'll leave the advanced optics since we're losing the evasion ignore and the plus accuracy. But it's just too hot of a build. So 83, which means the 20% weapon heat generated would be another 16. So that would be 99. And the extra 15. So 99. 114. So we would have a heat delta of 9. Okay, that is much more doable. So we, instead of the pirate fire control system, we'll drop in a clan advanced fire control system, which doesn't really help this mech much, but the battle computer heat. Is the battle computer heat actually worth it? Because instead of these battle computers, we can save slots, and we can save tonnage by just going Fire Control Predator, which is amazing on sniper mechs. It gives extreme long and medium range accuracy. We will not have the battle computer tracking evasion ignore, but maybe we don't need it. Also, why am I using this on a slow mech? +1 accuracy, +1 gunnery. That's why. That's why. Okay. In any case, we should have plenty of accuracy without the pirate fire control system and the tracking battle computer. Now, that is 2 evasion ignore we're losing in favor of keeping the stealth armor. You could go the other way, and you could drop the stealth armor, replace it with something like Clan Pharaoh, and buff up the armor. But not getting hit means no repair bills. So I tend to go for the stealth on my fire support mechs rather than the increased armor, just to reduce repair times. Now, yes, we'd be able to get more damage per shot if we went with, a lower heat build without the chameleon LPS. But we're building a fire support mech with stealth, darn it. That's what we're doing, that's what we're gonna do. But that does open up, since we don't have those slots taken up anymore, because we switched to the Fire Control Predator, we also have tonnage. So we've got 3 slots and 5 tons. 3 slots and 5 tons. I mean, heck, I could just... Yeah, I could just move the protos out of the center torso. Drop the ultralight gyro and put in a defensive gyro. And then add in... Oops. Up, not that far. There we go. Add in 1 more proto double heatsink. And with a defensive gyro and the chameleon LPS, I'm even confident dropping armor a little bit more. Well, then again, I think we're actually good now. So, 89, 20% additional would be about 17. which would be 106. Yeah, no, let's... Does the Fire Control Predator add? No. I could have sworn it was better than that. Did I miss something? Oh well. We will drop in another Proto Double Heatsink, and we will just drop a little bit of armor. Because the idea is we're not getting shot. And as long as we're not getting shot, we don't need armor. Okay, here goes nothing. Oh, right. Well, you know what? Whatever. So she's not ideal. Do I have anything else? Yeah, I got something else. Long shot. There we go. Long shot. Congratulations. Welcome aboard. Alright, so let's see if we fix the Atlas's problems.
Command interface initiated.
So, 4 skull.
I'm ready to fight, Commander.
4 skull duel. We are stealthy stealth. They are not stealthy stealth. Can't get unobstructed line of sight. What a pity.
10-4.
But we can still shoot them with everything and see what our heat looks like. Manageable. Considering we're in the desert, manageable. So we can actually just drop off all the stuff with a low hit chance.
Alright.
There we go. Alright.
Standing by.
And now... Why is everything still such a low hit chance? Ah, wait. Enhanced imaging on. That should help. And... definitely want to do some controlled burst. Fire. That was a respectable bit of damage.
I'm there.
I guess obstructed line of sight's just penalizing us that much. You know, this is the slowest charger I've ever seen. Ah, he didn't have visual on us the first turn, and this turn he doesn't have sensors on us.
Commander.
Because we are stealth. And now we have the hit chance I was expecting.
Fire it.
And because of controlled burst, we have almost heat neutrality. We'll have to drop one weapon every once in a while. That's what I was going for the first time around. So yeah, I can just literally stay put, stand and shoot. And he continues meandering around. Does he see us this turn? Yes, he got a high enough sensor roll this turn, and he missed everything because stealth armor.
Waiting for orders.
All right, time to we have obstructed line of sight. Let's see if we can get unobstructed line of sight. No. No, looks like he moved to cover. Alright.
Copy that, Commander.
Considering he has the high ground, I'm still happy with our hit chances. And we'll go ahead and deactivate the large lasers to completely sink all of our heat this turn. We could just deactivate one, but might as well deactivate both just to sink all the heat. Get ready for another alpha strike. There goes half a mech.
Scored a critical hit.
And once again, misses most everything. The AMS definitely underperforming there.
Serious hit.
But... Yep. Just stand and shoot then. And that should be a dead mech. Nope. But he's definitely hurting.
Critical hit, Commander.
And once again, manageable heat. That's the important part. We fixed the heat issue.
I'm here.
Yeah, I really feel like a solo duel isn't properly showcasing exactly how strong this mech is.
Enemy alert.
Mission success.
Alright, so this is the finished build that actually worked. The heat management was definitely an issue because you've got to remember, stealth armor generates heat. Some of it generates a lot of heat. For example, the Chameleon LPS generates a ton of heat, but it works so very well. I mean, you saw the very few hits that the enemy actually got on us, and I think definitely I'll make an announcement and just put it at the front of the video about my plans or whatever. But this is the final build. Obviously, there's still room for improvement. Like I said, the fact that the clan large pulse laser generates 37 heat and the clan ER large laser generates 45, like, might consider turning this into more of a splash build. Actually, let's see, how would we do that? Um, I mean, if I had a hyper assault Gauss, like an LB20 or something. No, LB20 is not long enough range. In any case, it works. It was definitely not the fastest kill on a single mech, but it showed it is viable, and that's the important part. Again, the best build for any mech is whatever you can do with whatever you've got on hand. So, that's gonna be it for this episode, and now I'm gonna scurry over to probably just the Roguetech opening screen to do the announcement that I'm going to stick at the beginning of this video. Alright. Hope you enjoyed yourself, and see you next week.